welcome back to our YouTube channel. Our next story is called How Do I Get the Goat and My Uncle Down from the Roof?
Oh, here it is.
Hi everybody, my name is Aldo and I live in the woods with my uncle who is deaf and blind. A few hours ago, I went to the river, which is a 40-minute walk away from my house, to take my monthly bath. On my way back to my house, I ate a few mushrooms and I found on the path. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I'm not sure whether what I saw after was from the mushrooms or if it was reality. Basically, I got back home and I was surprised to find a goat on the roof. I was so confused and so I panicked. I ran inside to my uncle and I told him what I saw, but then I remembered that he was deaf. So I began miming him a goat, but then I remembered he's blind as well and I got pissed. I began to make pasta in order to lure the goat down the roof. I ran out to check to see if the goat was still on the roof, and by the time I was back inside, I found that my uncle had ate the pasta. Sweet. I saw my friend Julia walking outside with his cows last, and I ran towards him to beg for his help, but he was wasted, and so he told me to fuck off, and he walked away. Then I went back towards my house and found my uncle sitting on the roof with the goat. I screamed, "How the hell did you get up there?" But I remembered once again that my uncle is deaf and blind. I freaked out, so I decided to go to the closest city and look for an internet cafe. There, I made a social network account in order to ask for someone's help to get my uncle and goat off the roof. P.S. I'm planning on adopting this goat. Can someone tell me what documentations do I need in order to sign to get his custody? I'm willing to exchange the goat with my uncle if necessary. And now, the story coming up is called I Just Want Everyone to Know I'm a Virgin. I was in a drugstore one night, picking up a couple of things I needed, and while standing in line to pay, was forced to listen to one of the loudest, most obnoxious young women I've ever encountered. After prefacing her statements by stating that she was not a racist, she proceeded to spout things that were at least borderline racist in intent to the two young men who were there with her. They were all in their early 20s at best guess. Finally, out of the blue, she announces at the top of her lungs to the entire store, "I just want to say to everyone that I'm still a virgin because I don't want to expose myself to all those crackheads and all those diseases they have." I probably should have kept my mouth shut, but my mouth apparently felt otherwise, and it just slipped out. I said, "I suppose the real problem might be that the crackheads are the only ones who want to have sex with you." She and both guys who were with her spun around with venom in their eyes. The funniest part was that since the tallest guy was probably 5'6" and maybe weighed 150, they all spun around to find themselves staring at my chest, up to see my face. I'm 6'4" and around 250. They all three quickly turned back around, paid the cashier, and hurried out the door. The first thing the teenage cashier said to me was, "I wish I had recorded that on my phone. It would have gone viral." Oh, the world we live in.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Our next story is called Straws, Sticks, and Brick. First and foremost, I just need to assert what was right and what was wrong. I think before you can apologize for things done, you really need to isolate and evaluate exactly what you did wrong. And it's very rare that you, haven't done anything right in the midst of all you did wrong. So I would like to assert that yes, I made mistakes. I made many mistakes. I hurt people. Well, not people, but living things. I hurt living things, and I hurt them by damaging their property and terrorizing them. And for that, I am very sorry. And I stand here humbly in front of you today with my tail between my legs, literally, to say that I do apologize for the wrong I've done. Not for the right I've done, obviously, because I don't need to apologize for what I've done right. And I've done some things right. But I don't need to apologize for those things. Just the wrong things. The straw. I apologize for the straw. Why would you build a house out of straw in the first place? It's a mystery to me, but that's not the point. The point is, one of you wanted to build a house of straw, and I destroyed that house. I blew it down. Not that it takes much to blow down something made out of straw. A strong wind could have blown it down. A gust, a breeze. You built the house fairly close to the ocean, so I expect there would have been a lot of sea wind coming off the coast. And that leads me to think your house wasn't long for this world anyway. But sure, yes, I was the one who blew it down, and I have to own that. And so I do. I own it. I own it, and I apologize for it. I blew the house down, and I was going to eat you, but you ran away. I don't think I should have to apologize for wanting to eat you, because that's, my nature. But I get how my nature and your existence don't jive, and I believe we should all be able to live together peacefully in this world. But I would like to remind you that eating, kale, isn't really an option for me. And, attempted murder isn't murder. It's different. That's why they have a different sentence for it when you get convicted of it in court. When you do get convicted, which isn't often because it's so hard to prove. I mean, it's almost impossible to prove someone's intent. But sure, I did attempt something, and for that I am sorry. Because that's wrong, and so is blowing down a flimsy house that was going to come down at any moment anyway, because somebody didn't want to take the time to build their home properly with decent materials. So, I'm sorry for all that. In regards to the sticks, I would like to say that I maintain sticks are only slightly harder to blow down than straw, but there was, yes, an intent there to blow the house down, and to eat the owner of the house, and to maybe use the sticks to start a fire that I would then roast said owner of the house over while lathering the said owner in barbecue sauce. Yes, all of that is true, and none of it is right, and I apologize for all of it. I will say that because I couldn't catch the owner of the house, nothing happened other than the destruction of a fire hazard, but nevertheless there was destruction. There was trauma, there was hurt, and I have to understand that and make space for it moving forward, that I brought about and manifested hurt in the lives of swine. A fire could have hurt many more people. Not a nice fire that you can control while you cook your dinner, but a real fire that could start at any moment if some pig decided to light a candle in the middle of his twig dwelling. But it's not about what might have happened, it's about what did happen. And what happened was, I blew the house down. I huffed, I puffed, I got a little winded, I huffed and puffed some more, down went the house.
Wow,
I own that.
a piece of
I
gold.
didn't eat the pig because he ran away. Because somehow pigs are terrible at building houses, but they are fantastic at running away from wolves. So that's fine. He ran, I chased, and then I hit a wall. A brick wall. We all have to hit that brick wall, don't we? Finally found a house I couldn't blow down. But you know what I could blow down? Myself. And that's what I did. I stood there with all the breath in my furry body. I blew and blew and blew, but I could not blow that house down. And as I sat there on the grass, the dew still fresh from morning, knowing that breakfast, lunch, and dinner was staring out a window from a brick house, mocking me, taunting me, and jeering at me, I knew I needed to take a good, hard look at my life and make some changes. That's why I'm here today. Not at the end of my journey towards being a better creature, but somewhere in the middle. I'm asking for forgiveness. For the straw, for the sticks, not for the brick, because that house was built well and I believe it got sold the following year for double what it cost to erect. And so, good on that pig, because he must have gotten the architecture gene and his siblings didn't. Me? I'm just going around to different wolf packs talking to the pups about making good decisions. Mostly, I just tell them to stick to chickens. You tell them the sky is falling, and the next thing you know, they're walking right into your cave. No houses you need to gather up your breath support for, and no riddles like with goats or grandmothers that just give you indigestion. Just good old-fashioned deception. You see, I've learned. I've come a long, long way.
This is my